Welcome students. In the last class we have studied about the refractive index. So let's get with the questions first. Your first question is, a ray of light traveling in air enters obliquely into water. Does the light ray bend towards the normal or away from the normal? So we already know, I have given you an example of the glass. Okay, water is here. So if you put a straw and this is the normal, so you will think that it should be like this, but no, it will bend towards the normal. Hence the light ray bends towards the normal when a ray of light travels from an optically rarer medium to an optically denser medium. It gets bent towards the normal. Since water is optically denser than the air, a ray of light traveling from air into the water will bend towards the normal. Okay, so pause the video and write this down. Next we have, light enters from air to glass having refractive index 1.50. What is the speed of light in the glass? The speed of light in vacuum is given 10 to 10^8 meter per second. You should remember this. Okay, we have refractive index of a medium Nm is given by speed of light in vacuum by speed of light in the medium, which is c by v. So speed of light is 3 into 10^8 meter per second. Refractive index of glass is ng equals to 1.50. So v equals to c by ng. How? See, we have ng equals to c by v, and we need to take out the v. So v equals to c by ng. Okay, this ng will come down and we need the velocity. So v equals to c by ng equals to 3 into 10^8 by 1.50. Multiplying by 10 both up and down, we have this 30 and this as 15. So 15 2 times is 30, hence 2 into 10^8 meter per second. So pause the question and write this down. Find out from table 10.3 the medium of light having optical density. Also find the medium with lowest optical density. So first you should know the term optical density. Okay, I've already discussed that in denser medium the speed of light is low. Okay, is low than the rarer medium. So it will be, the speed will be low here. Hence the optical density at this point will be high. The optical density will be high because also the refractive index will be high. You got my point? If optical density is high, refractive index is high, then speed will be low. Done? Okay. So now let us come to the table 10.3. So we have air as the lowest refractive index and diamond as the highest refractive index. That means the optical density here is lowest and the optical density here is the highest. Okay, optical density highest, but the speed here is lowest, but the speed here is highest. Okay, so I have highest optical density equals to diamond, lowest optical density equals to air. Optical density of medium is directly related with the refractive index of that medium. A medium which has the highest refractive index will have the highest optical density and vice versa. It can be observed from table 10.3. The diamond and air respectively have the highest and lowest refractive index. Therefore, diamond has the highest optical density and air has the lowest optical density. Okay. You can directly write this part. Okay. Okay. You have to write both parts. Okay. You'll get this will carry marks. Yeah. No need to write this point. Okay. You can write up to here only. Okay. You'll get marks. Next, you are given kerosene, terpene and water. In which of these does the light travel fastest? Use the information given in table 23. Okay, let us find the table. We'll go with first kerosene. We have kerosene here. Okay, terpene, we have terpene here, and water in this here. So where will light travel fast? Optically denser medium, highest optical density or lowest optical density. So the lowest optical density will have the highest speed, hence water will have the highest speed. Light will travel the slowest in the metal which has the highest refractive index and travel the fastest in the metal which has the lowest refractive index. It can be observed from the table 10.3 that the refractive indices of kerosene, terpene, water are 1.44, 1.47 and 1.33 respectively. Therefore light travels faster in water. Okay, if you remember the concept, you can frame the answer. Okay, pause the question and write this down. The refractive index of diamond is 2.42. What is the meaning of this statement? That means the refractive index of diamond is 2.42. Okay, that means the speed of light in diamond will reduce by a factor 2.42 compared to its speed in air. Now we have a diamond here. Okay, when light will fall, this is air, so it was coming at a very speed. When it will reach here, you will apply brake. Okay, apply brake, and the brake ratio is 2.42, which is nothing but the refractive index of diamond. Okay, relate this term and it will be very easy for you to understand. Okay, so let us start with the new topic, refraction by spherical lenses. Okay, which is the properties will be a little bit different from the spherical mirror. Okay, so let us come what is lens. A transparent material bounded by two surfaces, of which one or both surfaces are spherical, forms a lens. A lens is bound by at least one spherical surface. In such lens, the other would be plane. So in this case, let me first draw a diagram of convex lens. Okay, see, this is convex lens. Okay, now suppose I have drawn a lens. This is convex. I have used a convex lens, and here a plane spherical mirror. Okay, so this is plano-convex, this is plano-convex, and this is double convex, because I have used two convex. One is this part is convex, and this part is also convex. Okay, so this is how a plano-convex lens look like. Okay, this plane convex. A lens may have two spherical surfaces bulging outwards. Since such a lens is called a double convex, or simply called a convex lens. Now let us look into the diagram. We have convex lens. Okay, this is convex lens, simple convex lens. This is biconvex lens. Okay, both side convex. This is plano-convex lens, one side plane and positive meniscus. Similarly, this is the convex lens are also called converging lens, and the concave lens are called diverging lens. See, this is concave lens, this is biconcave lens, plano-concave lens, and negative meniscus. Okay. So in class 10 we'll only study about the biconvex lens and biconcave lens. Okay, the rest are not in your syllabus, so we'll omit those. Okay, a double concave lens is bonded by two spherical surfaces curve inwards. It is thicker in the edges than at the middle. Such lenses are also called diverging lens. A double concave lens simply called a concave lens. So see, now we'll get one point. See, I will take a spherical mirror. Okay. This is spherical, this is sphere. Okay, this is sphere. I have taken another sphere here. Now what I will do, I will take this part of this sphere and take this part of this sphere, spherical mirror. I will combine this and it will become a concave mirror. So this is a convex mirror. Okay. Similarly, if I take this spherical mirror and if I take a mirror, I join this part. Okay, I join these two parts and I will get a concave lens. Okay, because the diagram is not that good, but still I hope the concept is very clear. Okay, a lens, either a convex lens or a concave lens, has two spherical surfaces. Each of the surfaces forms a part of the sphere. Center of this sphere are called center of curvature of the lens. Now what is center of curvature? We have already known in spherical mirror. This is a spherical mirror. Okay, we have a C here which is not part of the sphere, and okay, but in lens what we have, see these C's lies here, and we have taken another sphere and it's C, suppose this is C1 and this is C2, okay, but we have cut out this and we have made a convex lens. Now when you pass through the principal axis, we see that we have got 2C. In convex or concave we will have two center of curvature, okay. Now the central point of the lens is optical center. The ray of light through the optical center of a lens passes without suffering any deviation. Now this point in mirror it was called pole, but here we will call it optical center, and any ray passes through this point will emerge out without any deviation, okay. In mirror what we have, in mirror if the incident ray is going at 90 degree, it will come back at 90 degree, but in refraction it will pass through. The effective diameter of the circular outline of a spherical lens is called its aperture, okay. Now this, from this point to this point, it is known as aperture. Similarly for concave we have this to this is aperture. Several rays of light parallel to the principal axis are falling on the convex lens. These rays, after refraction from the lens, are converging to a point on the principal axis. The point on the principal axis is called the principal focus of the lens. Now let us throw some of the rays, okay. So after, this incident ray, okay, this incident ray after refraction will definitely pass through somewhere, okay. First tell me, will it rebound back? No, because it is not a mirror, okay, it won't reflect back, okay. So this will get refracted, but after this point where it will go? So it will directly pass through a point in the principal axis, which is also known as the principal focus. So this point is the principal focus. Now you might have a question, sir, okay, you are always sending the rays from this side, okay, always sending the rays from this side, so can we send the rays from this side? Yes, obviously. It is a lens, you can send the rays from anywhere you want. If this will strike here, where it will go? Same property, it will go through a point in the principal axis, which is known as the principal focus. So we have two center of curvature and two principal focus, okay. Is it clear? Several rays of light parallel to the principal axis are falling on a concave lens. These rays, after refraction from the lens, appear to diverge from a point on the principal axis. This point on the principal axis is called the principal focus of the concave lens. Now let us throw these rays. So from where it will go? Will it come here? Will it come here? Will it go in this way? Will it? Is it possible? Okay. So you have not read the statement carefully. Okay. This rays, after refraction from the lens, appears to diverge from a point. So it will get diverted. Okay. It will go this side. It will get diverted. And as if this appears from a particular point in the principal axis, which is known as the principal focus. Okay. So the distance of the principal focus from the optical center of a lens is called as focal length. Now what is focal length? You have already known. Okay, the distance from the optical center. Okay, so from this is f, so the distance from here to here is known as the focal length. Similarly, the distance from here to here is known as the focal length. Now you will ask me, sir, we have two focal length, one is this, one is this, so which one will take? Correct? Very good question. So for class 10, one thing you should remember, your ray of light will always come from the left side. Done. Now this ray is going this side, forming at focus here. So your focal length will be here. Okay. Now according to the sign convention, what we have? this side is positive. So here F will be positive. You got me? And here F will be negative. And here F will be negative. Okay. Now let us see the image formation by convex lens. Okay. Now compare the property. Take out your books. Now compare all the properties of convex lens. Okay. With the mirrors, all the spherical lens and mirrors. You will see that for the all the properties of concave mirror are same. At infinity, at the focus, highly definition, polish, real and inverted, all are the same. And in fact, virtual and erect for the last option between P and F. So for convex lens, we have all the properties similar to concave mirror. Okay. Only the thing is, in lens, the image is from this side. Okay, one more thing. For convex, okay. Now very important thing. Okay, this will be very interesting now. And this is convex, right? Okay, and this is concave. Okay, I have taken concave. Okay, very interesting topic. When a ray of light falls in here and here, okay, the image will be formed this side. Okay, and the image form is this side for mirror. Okay, now tell me which side is real and which side is virtual. So for spherical mirrors, we already have, if the image is formed in the same side of the object is real, and if behind the mirror it is virtual. But in case of lens, if it is formed in the opposite side it is real, and if it is formed in the same side it is virtual. Okay, please draw this, pause and draw this diagram. This diagram is not that good, but very good concept. Okay. So now image formation by concave lens. So it will will have the property of all the convex mirror property. Okay, at infinity, virtual and erect. Beyond C, it will be virtual and erect. Okay. Now let us move to the topic image formation in lens using ray diagrams. So we have to study how the ray forms. Okay, like previous in mirror. Okay, a ray of light from the object parallel to the principal axis after refraction from a convex lens passes through the principal focus on the other side of the lens. Now this is your convex lens with C1, C2, F1, F2. Now in book you will see that it is 2F1. Okay, why? The distance from here to here is equal to the distance from here to here. So this, if this is F1, so the total distance will be F2. Okay, in many of the books you will see F21, but if you write C1, it is equally correct. So let us pass ray. Now you will see only one ray came. Now many students will ask, sir, why only one ray? Array, this is for only explanation. Okay, during the fight of Mahabharata only one ray came, sometime 10. Okay, but we should know the actual concept of this. See, it will directly pass through the focus. Okay, it will pass through what here. So in here Ram is standing here. Okay, in here throwing an arrow. Here it is Ravan is here, so it will directly go in this way. Okay. No Mahabharata. Okay, let's move to the next point. In case of concave lens, the ray appeared to diverge from the principal focus located on the same side of the lens. Okay, now this is your concave lens with C1, C2 and F1, F2. Okay, see. Mahabharata is doing something. Okay, now Ram throws an arrow. Where it will go? Where it will go? It will diverge. Why? because now here we have used concave lens, so it will diverge. Now Ravan got saved, okay, but Ravan will think, oh, Ram is somewhere in here. If we'll pull it back, Ram is somewhere here. He will not find the actual location. Hence, this is convex lens, and for concave lens we have this property. What property? If it is parallel to the principal axis, it will pass through the focus, and if it is parallel to the focus, it will diverge, and it would appears that it has come from the focus from same side, okay, same side of the lens. Next, a ray of light passing to the principal focus after refraction from a convex lens will emerge parallel to the principal axis. Let us see what it will do. Okay, it has gone to the focus and it will directly go parallel to, it will go parallel to this, okay, it will pass parallel to this. A ray of light appearing to meet at the principal focus of concave lens after refraction will emerge parallel to the principal axis. So let us see. Okay, so it has seen that it has gone through focus, okay, so then it will go parallel to the principal axis. Okay, it will go parallel to the principal axis. Next, a ray of light passing to the optical center of lens will emerge without any deviation. That means what? If it will pass through optical center, it will go as it is. Now we have you will have one more question, sir, if I will pass through this, what will happen? Obviously it is going through the center, it is the principal axis, hence it will go directly, okay, it will pass through this. A ray of light passing to the optical center of lens will emerge without any deviation. So again a ray of light coming and passing through O will emerge out without any deviation. Again you will ask, sir, will it go directly, because now it is concave lens? For all spherical mirrors this property is valid. Okay, now sign convention for spherical lenses. We have sign convention for spherical mirrors, now for spherical lenses. Now let us see what it says. For lenses we follow sign convention similar to one we use in the spherical mirrors. We apply the rules for sign of distance except that all measures are taken from the optical center of the lens. According to the convention, the focal length of the convex lens is positive and that of concave lens is negative. You must take care to apply the appropriate sign of the value UVF, object height and image height. Now see, focal length of a convex lens is positive. Convex lens, why he said it is positive? Oh my god, why he said it is positive? Because a ray of light will come from here, it will diverge from here. This is F, so the focal length here it is positive. And for concave, what we have, when a ray of light will go, it will diverge back, but it will appear that it has emerged from a point in the principal axis, but this point is negative. Again few of the students are saying, oh my god, what is this? I cannot understand. Okay, the Cartesian sign, if you count from here it is negative, if you count from here it is positive. Remember, okay, that is why if this is the lens, this side is the focal length, okay, so hence this is the focal length negative for convex, and for concave it will be positive. Okay, now lens formula and magnification. Now you can see we have magnification for lens formula as 1 by V minus 1 by U, but in the mirror formula we have 1 by V plus 1 by U equals to 1 by F. So keep that in mind. Okay, the distance of the object from its optical center is called the object distance. Distance of the image from its optical center is called the image distance. Distance of the principal focus from the optical center is called the focal length. Okay, this is the image, this is the convex mirror. So if we count, we have to count the direction from here. Suppose the image is 10 centimeter, so you have to write U equals to minus 10. Okay, and image is formed here. Okay, the image is formed here, so you have to write the V equals to positive. Now you can see here height of the image will be negative, okay, and here height of the image is positive. Okay, Keep that in mind, because last time when we're solving mirrors, we got the image at this point which was virtual, okay, which was virtual and which was positive. So in the magnification we have some changes, okay, that magnification m equals to v by u, not minus v by u, okay, not minus v by u, only v by u. So the height of the image by height of the object is v by u. Keep that in mind. The height of the object is taken to be positive as the object is usually placed above the principal axis. The height of the image should be taken as positive for virtual images, okay. The height of the image should be taken positive for virtual images. However, it should be taken negative for real images. A negative sign of the value of the magnification indicates that the image is real and inverted. A positive sign of the value of magnification indicates that the image is erect and virtual. So I will give just a small example. You have already done the ray diagram, okay. Look in the table. A light will come, fall in the, suppose let us take another, okay. We'll take another. We'll take from C. Image at C, okay. So what it says, going through the C, okay, going through the C and directly, so image is formed here. Now see, in convex this image is reverse, okay, the image is real and inverted, and what was the negative sign, the value magnification indicates the image is real, and here magnification will be negative. Why negative? See, we have m equals to h dash by h, okay. Here value of h is negative, so we have negative h, and here value of h is positive, we have positive h. So cutting this we will get a negative sign, so hence magnification equals to negative. Similarly, we will have positive sign for other lens, okay, concave lens. So try those at home, try to solve questions, okay, as much as possible, okay. In the next class we will solve example 10.3, okay. A concave lens has focal length of 15 cm. At what distance should the object from the lens be placed so that it forms an image at 10 cm from the lens? Also find the magnification produced by the lens, okay. Those who have not gone through this, okay, go back and revise the chapter and solve the questions, okay. If you have any doubts, write down in the comment box, okay. And if you want to learn any other topic, okay, just write that down. I will make videos on that topic, okay. That's all for today. See you on the next class. Bye bye.